Have you ever felt like giving up making art? Like your ideas and creations aren't worth anyone's attention, and that any endeavor will end up in failure? Sometimes I feel this way, yet it's the intense desire to create that prevents me from truly giving up. What occurs is a sort of stalemate, where I'm motivated to kickstart a project, but the fear of failure prevents me from making any progress. Even as I'm typing up this script, I can feel the urge to close out the Google Docs tab and walk away. This freezing effect has caused serious interruptions for various projects of mine, and I want to take a crack at exploring this feeling in an attempt to reduce its effects. The thing that always intrigues me is the utter resistance to completely giving into despair, even when its effect is at its strongest. While this might suggest some sort of strong will, I'm inclined to believe something different. These bouts of self-pity have always felt like a cry for attention, for someone to jump out of the bushes and confirm my inequalities or strengths, anything to absolve myself of dealing with the sting of defeat. In these cases, hoping, dreaming, and creating can seem idiotic when every attempt at art seems like irrefutable proof of your incompetence. This exercise of self-pity always reads as someone sitting in the driver's seat and waiting for someone else to turn the keys and step on the gas pedal. I feel like these feelings emerge from an increased focus on what art fails to provide me and not on the creation of that art alone. I've discussed in past videos how I used to have an unshakable confidence in my art. I had no real grasp on the fundamentals of art, and most of my ideas were derivative at that time, but I still believed in my own talent. My ability to bring anything from my mind to reality was something to be proud of on its own. I'm sure this next part sounds familiar to most artists, but that unshakable confidence began to crumble the minute I joined social media. Soon I had a handy set of analytics that could tell me how worthless my art really was. As the years marched on, it felt like I couldn't grow fast enough. It wasn't until I looked back at my now deleted Twitter account that I realized how little of an impact my art truly made. At some point, a surge of irritation swelled within me. Life can't keep going on like this forever, right? I still wanted to create and achieve my dreams, but any attempts at success felt impossible. Really stewing on this feeling, I came up with an action plan to build up the fortitude to start creating. I think breaking out of stagnation starts with redefining success. I've spent a lot of this discussion about how I felt like a failure, but what would I define as a successful project? I've been able to make art and videos that have gotten a couple thousand views, yet these feelings of failure persist. A lot of that is attributed to social media's ability to diminish the magnitude of its analytics. It wouldn't matter if I went viral right now. The minute my stats start to slow down, I just go back to feeling miserable. The truth of the matter is that if you finished one art piece or are in the middle of creating something, you're already miles ahead of people who have never started. If we all waited for success to be a guarantee, nothing would ever get done. Whether anyone shows up for the big premiere doesn't diminish the achievement of finishing anything. I can't control how many people show up to my next upload, but I can control what I make and how much I make. This year, I'm not letting an empty audience determine the worth of my art. The only thing that determines my success is whether that idea actually exists. Another thing that can break through this paralyzing fear of failure is to reject entitlement. The hardest pill to swallow as an artist is that we aren't owed anything. It isn't anyone's job to shower us with accolades. Would it really feel good to receive comments and likes if everyone was forced to give them? Wouldn't you want someone to engage with your work out of a genuine desire? Because of this fact, it's crucial to be thankful for the few people who decide to reach out. Every single like, comment, and share is irrefutable evidence that your voice and ideas have the ability to impact people, and it would be a shame to take that for granted. One thing that I haven't seen too many people discuss is how much of this sense of entitlement defines the AI art movement. It reminds me of an answer to a thought experiment I'd always used to give as a kid. Oftentimes, people would ask a question like, if you had a time machine, what would you do? My answer would be some variation of pitching the concept of Pokemon before the original creator did to steal all of their riches. I didn't have too much attachment to the games as a kid. I only saw the magnitude of the brand's popularity. A lot of AI art feels like the manifestation of this concept, where people are not interested in art for how it can speak to their soul. Rather, AI enthusiasts are far more interested in how much money or notoriety they can gain from stealing from other artists. It's this entitlement that can completely erode your relationship with both your craft and the creations of others. It's ridiculous to feel like you're owed the privilege of being a popular artist, in the same way it would be weird to deserve to be an Olympic gold medalist without spending a day training. Recognizing this fact can completely remove the intimidating stakes from uploading work. Important to note, just as no one owes us attention, the world isn't owed amazing art from us. You don't need to be the greatest artist in history to be granted the right for your work to exist. Making art and being happy it exists is good enough. Lots of advice given to counter anxiety usually ends with some variation of just create for fun. Most often, this is in regards to the process of creating, but I feel like the act of engaging with the creation gets forgotten. I feel like you should enjoy watching and engaging with your own art. Spending too much time online can cause you to forget how much of yourself you pour into your work. Every piece of art created is a time capsule of who you are in that moment of creation. It also shouldn't be understated the power of being able to create what you want to see in the world. You don't have to wait for another artist, musician, YouTuber, or whatever to make your new favorite piece of art. You can just make it. So much of the output of this channel has been dedicated to topics and ideas I wish better YouTubers made. I honestly think that this aspect of creating art is what prevents me from truly giving up. I don't want to wait forever for someone to make that comic or video or movie that explores all of the things that makes me happy. I'm far too impatient for that. Making anything can be scary, especially when failure seems inevitable. While success isn't always guaranteed, we don't have to settle for reaching goals that erode our desire to create. Making my first video was scary because of the needlessly high stakes I unintentionally made in my head. Yet the existence of that first video made the act of creating the next project easier to kickstart. Each project acted as a milestone, marking my growth. At the beginning, I was so scared to even put one letter on this script, and now the whole video is basically done. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from tapping into your potential. Let's make more art this year, no matter the result, one step in front of the other.